Hi friends, Mrs. Powell again. I have a new Curious George book today. This one is Curious George at the Aquarium. And our aquarium in Baltimore is super cool. If you haven't been there before, it's a really fun place to visit. Right now it's closed, but if you go online and you look up National Aquarium in Baltimore, it'll take you to their website, and there's lots of virtual tours right now and interesting things, so you can see some of the things down there. So let's read Curious George at the Aquarium by Margaret and H.A. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today George and the man with the yellow hat were visiting the aquarium. George, said the man, please wait here while I buy tickets. George tried to wait, but he was so excited. What was inside? He wanted to look over the walls, but they were too high. So what do you think? The man's telling him to wait, but do you think George is going to wait? What do you think he's going to do with that wall? Let's see. Just then he heard a splash and a whoosh, and water flew high up in the air. People cheered. What could that be? George was curious. Look at the water going up in the air. Also, look at what George is starting to do. He hopped over the gate into the aquarium. How surprised he was. Swimming right in front of George were two beluga whales. The mother and baby beluga whale swam right past him. I love beluga whales. They always look like they're smiling. And not far away was a family of sea lions diving and splashing. What fun! George noticed people walking towards a big door. Could there be more to see? He followed the crowd. So once again, George did not listen to the man with the yellow hat because he was too curious. Now where was he? It was darker inside, and there were fish everywhere. George did not know where to look first. In one tank, there were sharp-toothed piranhas. In another tank, there were seahorses. And in another tank, there was a large red octopus. You can see all of the tanks. I love going to aquariums. I don't know about you. George saw a group of children across the room. An aquarium staff member was pointing to different sea creatures. This is a starfish. This is a clam, and this is a sea urchin, he told them. Nearby, there was a low, colorful tank. It was perfect for touching, except that the sign on it said, "Do not touch." George was curious. As he reached his hand into the water, a large crab came scuttling out from under a rock and right towards his finger. Snap! Ouch! Poor George. He did not like this exhibit. I understand why George was curious this time, because that does look like the tanks at our aquarium where you can touch the animals. But you can see on this one, the sign says, "Do not touch." George slipped out a door into the sunlight. But oh, what was going on here? George saw fat, funny-looking black and white fish flying under the water. As he watched, they flew up out of the water. What kind of fish does that? George wondered. George climbed up and into the exhibit. I don't know, think for a minute. What do you think? Were they really big black and white fish going in and out of the water and flying? They were penguins. There you can see the penguins in and out of the water. It's funny, George thought they were fish. They were not fish at all, but penguins, of course. George hopped up and down like a penguin. He flapped his wings like a penguin, and he waddled like a penguin. You can try doing those things at home. Those are kind of fun. They'd be good exercise, too. A crowd gathered and laughed, but when he tried to slide on his belly like a penguin, the aquarium staff stopped by to check in. Uh-oh, they said, there's a monkey in the penguin exhibit. George opened the door to escape, but instead, all the penguins ran out. Penguins everywhere. The staff was angry at George. How could they catch all the penguins? Yep, George looks sad again. He always feels bad after he makes a mistake. In all the excitement, nobody noticed the penguin chick falling into the water. No one but George. The baby penguin hadn't learned to swim yet. As only a monkey can, George scaled the rope hanging over the beluga tank and swung over the water, saving the little chick. George to the rescue. The director of the aquarium and the man with the yellow hat heard the commotion and came running. That monkey helped the baby penguin, said a boy in the crowd. No one else could have saved him, said a girl. The director thanked George for his help and made him an honorary staff member of the aquarium. There's George with a little baby penguin he rescued. And there's the zoo director saying, thank you. So even though George caused the problem, he helped out in the end. George said goodbye to his new penguin friends, but he could not wait to come back to the aquarium and visit them again. Now that's the end of the book, but on this very last page, there are some aquarium animals, but the words are all mixed up. So if you want to write any of these down or pause the video, maybe you can try to figure out what some of these are at home. So it's kind of a scrambled word thing. All right, friends. Bye. I'll be back again later with another book.